Howdy y'all, welcome back to Rat's Nest Hot Rods. Today we are going to get into block sanding the goofier parts of a car. I know a lot of people show the big flat panels, but today we're going to show roof rails, bizarre rocker repair, and the finishing touches on the passenger side of the vehicle. I know a lot of guys are much better at body filler than I am, and I commend you. But if you're one of those guys like me that it takes 4 and 5 times to get everything filled appropriately, and you go on with light coats, then there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to get the same end product. Take your time and keep an eye on things, and go lightly. You'll see this rocker deal down at the bottom of this car where they did a leaded seam was super wavy. I'm guessing from the factory because I've got this car and a parts car, and they're done the same way. And you'll see body filler going in there. Everything's as straight as it could be. I think we're at the max body filler on this car, about 1/8 of an inch. And it looks like hell, and a whole lot of different colors because of the color choices I made with feather fill, but nonetheless it's getting nice and smooth. There'll be 2 more coats of feather fill and a full block out after this one when those videos get posted. The car will look a lot better. However, the system I've been using is strip the car down, epoxy primer, then go directly over the top of that with feather fill, block that down, find your known lows there. It's easier for me to see. Fill those with body filler. I block sand that with 80 grit also. Then we come back with more feather fill. So that's how I do it. A little unorthodox, I would assume. Probably more expensive, but if you're trying to get a car dead straight, I think this is the way to go. You don't have any air pockets or adhesion problems when you go over fresh epoxy with that feather fill. And you're not leaving that epoxy open and exposed so that you've got to scuff it in the future if you're going to do body filler work in certain areas and then eventually go over it with a high build. So my reasoning: shoot the epoxy, wait an hour, shoot the feather fill, do your first block sand, then add the body filler. And you'll see throughout the video where I'll go around with a pencil, mark the lows, and then I'll come back and scuff that up with some 80 grit and then put the body filler in. I think that's something that a lot of people don't show is if you got body filler down, it's probably going to need to be, you're going to add more later. You block sand that body filler. You're going to have lows in there, and you need to get in there and scuff them to give them some tooth for that next layer of body filler. Don't just wipe the body filler right over unsanded areas. So I use a pencil. I circle those low areas, I get in there and scuff it. I can still see the pencil mark. I come back with a body filler, and then put that body filler in, block sand it back down, and continue to repeat as many times as it takes. Like I said, I'm not the best with body filler. The end product, however, will look like I am the best. Let's speed this up. Nobody wants to listen to me any longer, and we'll get into that rocker and finishing up the other spots here. So let's kick back and enjoy, boys.
There were no words to be heard. I guess I knew her from the old days, but both of us had clearly changed. We didn't talk through the park and down the block. I just asked for a cigarette and smoked it. In context, I soon would forget. I was lonesome, she was lonesome. I guess she waited till I was desperate, but for an hour or two we had no regret. Staring up the old clock tower, revealing the this wretched hour. Hear them ringing, hear them ringing. Though the sound remains the same, we have both.
We're going to jump on this rocker area that I described earlier with the airfile to get some of the highs down. It's really weird the way they leaded this seam down here. It was proud right on the seam, and then on both sides of it, it dipped way into the car. You couldn't notice it when the car was on the ground, but you really can when it's up in the air. So this is going to take 4 or 5 lifts of body filler, and we're going to get it all done in this video so that this side is perfect by the end of it. And then keep in mind there's going to be 2 more sessions of feather fill slick sand over the top of this. It'll get blocked again. It is a long process, but if you want your car to go down the road and look straight and not have any waves in it, even down here in the rockers, it's kind of necessary. So we're going to get the bulk of the filling and leveling done here with the on the rocker with the airfile and Rage Gold, and keep working this thing down. You'll see throughout the video that it gets quite a bit better, and then by the end it's pretty damn near there.
The bells are calling. I told her, I asked her if she thought it ever really mattered what she did to her body, but she didn't answer. In this polluted bed, confusion for my head, I had to escape this room, and then I can't pretend.
We're going to let that rocker set up with the new, the fresh Bondo on it, and get to working on this roof rail area. There is some trim there, and then down around the window. If you've seen the prior videos, I shot black feather fill. I'll never do that again. So I'm using a white spray paint as a guide coat up there, and then we'll use this black carbon dry guide coat on the bottom portion. I don't think a lot of people show areas like this on a car that are not, like the flat side like I talked about earlier. And what it takes is being creative with the block that you're using, thinking about it, and trying different things. I can tell you that I blocked this side out with a Durablock round rod and a soft sander oval rod, and also a 3M paint stick sanding block. You'll see there here in the future. So it's kind of like this. For me, it's not an art. I'm trying to get the job done and get things flat, so I'm going to try several different things. You'll see a soft sander come out, a green one, here in the near future when we get up on that top roof rail. But it is important to think about these smaller areas that are not so cut and dry. You try and do the best you can with your X pattern. You add the filler where you need to, very similarly, but yeah, you think block sanding the flat sides takes time. This takes a lot of time, being very meticulous. But next car show you're at, go take a look at somebody's roof rails, and you'll see that that's where people stop giving a shit about their car. Literally. Well, not literally. I mean, how can you stop giving a shit?
Again. Up the old clock tower, revealing this wretched hour. I hear them ringing, ringing. The sound remains the same, though we both changed. Baby, the bells are calling.
I'm going to bust out the soft sander. Generally, I would use this for wet sanding before base coat or something like that, but we've done the lion's share of this with the 3M paint stick and the round blocks, and then the soft sander enabled me to kind of get down into that roof rail area and then take down that final bit. So Yeah, I did the other side completely different. Achieved the same results. I don't know that there's any way, maybe if I did this for a living every day, that I'd have this completely figured out. But every car is going to be a little bit different, so you got to kind of improvise and adapt and overcome here.
You
We're going to use this lime green soft sander block here. It really does fit good into that roof rail, and it's important not to go just, back and forth horizontally. You can see the curve there, lays in there pretty good. You don't just go back and forth horizontally with this thing. You're going to have to try to sand in an X pattern a little bit up and down, and it's really tough to show that in the video, but I'm actually going up and to the left and then down and to the right, and then coming back down the roof rail and doing the same thing there. You can see it with my hands better than you can with the block. Take your time with it. There's no secret to it. But hesitate to just run that block straight down the roof rail. You'll have a bunch of horizontal lines there, kind of be tough to fill up, and won't have the best results. So try to do your X pattern everywhere, but it's definitely not a science.
I stare out at the road, but I know your car ain't coming.
We're going to jump back down to this rocker and keep moving on that. I really do. I can't do it without a straight edge of some sort. I use an aluminum 36-inch. Well, I guess in America we call them yardsticks. I use it a lot. I just pressed it in there while it was a little bit soft, and now we're going to use the cheese grater and take off the highs. This is a really strange area on this car, and it's on both sides. It's on my parts car, like I said, and it's going to take a lot of time. I'm not going to lie to you. So if you don't like to see a 2-foot patch of rocker repair, well, it's not repair, it's a good rocker, but a 2-foot patch of getting a rocker nice and smooth and straight, the rest of this video is just not for you.
It sits tonight outside a house, someplace it's waiting. Now you hurt the ones that told you the truth. Now you lay with the liars and hope that they don't harm you. And you break it to me so gently. Under his spell, your memory was erased so gently. Pretending that that was the way it was meant to be. In her voice, there is a hesitation, a cruel question that cuts right through to you.
We're getting close on this rocker. You can see those dark spots there just down towards the edge. And I'm going to mark it out with a pencil and then rough those up for some tooth and put a little more body filler on and keep on block sanding. That's just the way it is, fellas.
Face, there is a certain sadness which no man can see through. Oh yeah.
All right, that rocker is really, really, really close. The other reason I like to use a pencil is I'll walk around the car towards the end of the day and kind of mark out low spots. With that pencil, it makes it easier for me to see, and then so if I'm using some body filler like I was down on the rocker, I'll go back and hit those other spots. So we're going to, as you can see, guide coat those right now, and then we're going to block sand them and then hop back to the rocker, and then we'll tease out the next video.
Kills me to know that there's a reunion tonight now that her guilt is under control. He kisses her with that dime store passion as they lay together in the afterglow. A reunion in some room across town. Yeah, I always knew that his time would be coming back around. And you were so charmed.
Scratch that. That rocker ain't perfect yet. We're going to put a little bit more body filler on it and continue to block sanding. Yeah, I know this video is boring, but this is the parts they don't show in the TV shows and a lot of other videos. The tedious, painstaking work that goes into getting a nice dead flat car. Dead flat even in curved, weird, strange areas.
Execution hour. And when the axe fell down, you threw apologies just like flowers. You're so dangerous because you can never make a decision.
Alright, we've made it to the end of this here video, and we've got everything ready for that next coat of feather fill. We're going to use a combination of feather fill and slick sand in the next video, and I'll show you that. And important thing, if you use feather fill or slick sand, it says you can only apply it over bare metal if it's less than a square inch. So I grab a little epoxy, mix it up, and that's what we're doing here. We're covering all those bare spots, bare metal spots, so that we can come back with the feather fill. I don't like to leave any exposed metal before I spray that on. 1 square inch is, yeah, it's a little scary. Anyway, thanks for watching and subscribing. I know this was a little bit boring of a video, but it's what it takes. Peace and grease, sucker.